Hey everybody, it's Amy Head with New Perspectives for Life in Marietta, Georgia. Today is Thursday, May 1st. We are on the first day of a new month. It is a beautiful day here in Marietta. We have a great sunny day and we're really enjoying it, especially after a couple of days of crazy weather and storms. And I hope all of you have been safe, especially if you're out in some of the states, Arkansas, Alabama, and some of the others that really got hit hard with these storms this week. I hope you've been doing well. I thought I would take some time today to share with you. Normally when I record these sessions, these video blogs, I do them usually before I see clients during the day, but today it's worked out to where I've actually already seen some clients and I'm in a little bit of a break. And something that has been kind of a consistent theme of my clients today and this week has been around the topic of grief and loss. And I've done a lot of grief counseling this week. I do that anyway, but this week in particular, it just seems like most of my new clients have been clients who are coping with the loss of a child or the loss of a parent. And it's just been a really big theme this week. And one thing that I have found is that a lot of the people are not familiar with the stages of grief, what they are, what they look like, and kind of how we go through them. So I thought I would take just a few minutes to briefly identify for you what the 5 stages of grief are in case you are going through a time of grief or loss, or someone that you know is going through a time of grief or loss. You'll have this information that I think will be very helpful. You may be familiar with the name Ann Kubler-Ross. She is one of the people who is normally coined as having first outlined the stages of grief that we go through when we experience loss. And it doesn't even mean just loss in terms of death, but it could be loss of a job, some of the devastation that we've seen this week, like loss of your home through natural disasters. So it's any kind of trauma or loss. We tend to go through these 5 stages of grief, and I'll just kind of go through them quickly so that you can know them, or maybe it'll be a review if you already do know them. But I will say before I mention them that some of the experts in the field of mental health and in grief counseling believe that each person who goes through grief and loss will go through each of these 5 stages in this order, and their grieving process will be done in about a year. I don't typically believe that. I believe that there are these 5 stages of grief that we're going to talk about in a second, and that we can actually jump in and out of stages. We can be in a couple stages at the same time. We can go back and forth. We can go in and out of stages. And I don't really necessarily believe that the grieving process ends in a year, because during that year, other things could happen that sort of compound the nature of the grief that we were already experiencing, and that can slow the process. It can back the process up. Also, I kind of look at it like, especially with death and loss of life, that first it's really important to go through and know that you can get through all of the first year up to the anniversary of the first year of the passing of that person. So in my mind, there's no way to really be able to say that your grieving is going to be over in a year. In my mind, it's going to take just going through all the first to know that you can get through them, to even have that as a part of the grief process. So not to say it's always going to take over a year, but there's a lot going on in that process, and we have to know and gain confidence that we can make it through all of these first birthday, first holiday, first celebration without the person that we love. So the 5 stages of grief, I'm going to go through them quickly. You have denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then acceptance. And just a brief definition of each of those, and they're kind of obvious for some of them. Denial can be the first stage a lot of times, especially if the death was not expected or anticipated. But it is basically where you might find yourself saying something like, this can't be happening. You've got to be talking about the wrong person. You can't be talking about my friend or my child or my family member. This can't be, somebody's got something wrong. This is not happening. We totally are in shock to the information and to the situation, and we just cannot wrap our mind around the fact that it is real, and so we are in denial. Maybe we just cannot believe that it's happened. Anger It sounds pretty straightforward. We're angry about it. But anger can kind of be in two different ways, and it can be at the same time. It can be anger towards others. For example, we could say, well, the doctor should have done more, or that person should have never been in his or her life in the first place. Anger out at other people. Somebody should have seen this coming. Somebody should have done something. They didn't do enough. The other aspect of anger is anger at ourselves, where we really kind of turn on ourselves, where we say things like, I should have done something different. I should have known. I should have done something more. I should have seen this coming. If only I had ... And it's a lot of anger towards ourselves. Bargaining is where sometimes, now bargaining doesn't always happen, usually doesn't happen after the death as much as it does during the process, like if you're watching a loved one who's ill, or if somebody's been in an accident and they're in the hospital and they're not recovering well. Bargaining will take place where we want to trade out something in response for something else. So for example, you'll often hear a parent, if they're watching their child in the hospital bed,